Here's a question from Eliza. She wants to know the difference between auto normalization, auto ducking, and adjusting the volume manually, and which is the best to use. Let's describe each of those for her. Okay, they actually each serve a separate function. Let's start with auto normalization. What is auto normalization? Here I've placed 3 sound tracks below a video, and this is the original volume. This one here I've lowered, and this one here I've raised. So down here, we're not going to bother playing them because that's not important. We're going to visually see what the effect is. Auto normalization is for the purposes of leveling out the highs and lows. Now, Eliza mentioned that all she thought it did was lower it. Let's take a look at this lower one and let's see what happens. We will select all of the audio on the track, and we could actually even select the audio on all of the tracks here, but we're just going to use this music track here for demonstration purposes. And we're going to activate the auto normalization. And you'll see that indeed the one in the middle became louder. The one in the end here, which was loud, became softer, and this one probably stayed the same. So that's what auto normalization is. Now, there are some presets down here depending on what it is that you're using it for. And I see this one is marked YouTube, so I would assume, wait a minute, we should, let me go back here a little bit, do Control Z, because I haven't actually played with this. So let's select all of these, and let's set it for YouTube. And so now it's a level for that. This is a broadcast of some sort. I don't know what that is, but I can see that that's a slightly softer or less. You can even customize your whatever your settings want to be, but we'll just use this for now. The point is, it is for equalizing all of the audio tracks to the same level. So there may be different music, but it's not going to be louder, it's not going to be softer. And if it's your own personal audio track, it's not going to be higher or louder in one part and softer in another part. It's all going to come across at being approximately the same level. All right, let's discuss audio ducking. Audio ducking is applied to the track you want to be the loudest. And what that means is that any other soundtrack in the project in that same column will be lowered. So we're going to choose this. I did a little voiceover here, and I made some blank spaces on purposes for describing what is happening. We're going to apply the audio ducking to this audio track right here. And we see that everything, and let's make it even more dramatic. We're going to just increase the ducking amount to 100% so we can more clearly see where it's being applied. We can see that everything that overlaps our audio track here has been reduced, whether it's on the original videos up above or whether it's on the music tracks. And if I move this around, it's going to duck whatever is in that same vertical stack. And I say vertical stack because something can be, this could be up above it or below it. But the point is like that. Now, I believe that what Eliza missed is that she probably has a long soundtrack that she made for her video, and she may have blank spaces in there, but she hasn't trimmed them out, or she hasn't recorded separate clips. Typically, when I record, I don't record one solid clip. I will record multiple clips. And that way I have my automatic spacing. However, if you do have this and you want the audio ducking only to be applied to the parts where you're speaking, you need to trim out the blank spaces in your video like so. We take this away and watch the audio up on these 2 tracks. You see how they came back? Now we can move this one over here, and that's going to shift everything. So when you're using audio ducking, the typical amount is 50%, and that generally is enough to lower the music to just soft background music. But if you have some particularly loud music or whatever, you may want to increase it. Now you have two other options. You have a fade duration and fade position. And what they mean is and you'll notice that the default setting for duration is 2 seconds. So it's kind of like the old days, fade in and fade out is basically what it is. If we were to, for example, select this here, we could fade it in like so. Okay, this fade in here is the same. Let's say we want the music to be loud right up until when we speak. Not generally a good idea, but let's just say that's what we want it to do. So we can see right now there's a 2-second fade, and then there's a 2-second fade out, and then a fade in. And let's go ahead and reduce it to 0. And we see that the audio volume on the other tracks now match right up. And in contrast, if you want that to be further away, you just lengthen it. You will notice that the fade position now will encroach on the audio as I increase it. So the music continues at a somewhat loud time frame, whatever we select, up to 1 second, into our speech portion of our thing. So I would generally say leave that one alone unless you have a specific reason for wanting to have the music loud at the same time that you're speaking. That's generally not a good idea. So that leaves just the manual. Now, if you were to adjust things manually, you're going to be doing a lot of cutting of the music. Like we'll take here and we will take the audio ducking off, and now we want to lower it right here. Well, we can do that. I mean, one way to do that is we could add keyframes to this thing, and that would be a chore. And the other option would be to cut it. Let's cut the soundtrack here, and now what we can do is we could lower this track manually, and you can see how cumbersome that would be, and then we would have to kind of fade it in. So doing it manually is the worst option, and I certainly wouldn't recommend that. So that's basically the difference between the three options.